Hello there friends, welcome back to another episode of Generation Tech. My name is Alan, and today we continue our Star Wars faction series, which looks at the biological, cultural, and technological strengths and weaknesses of various alien species in Star Wars. So far, we've taken a look at the Kaminoan dolphinkin, famous for their cloning abilities and selective breeding. Today we'll be moving on to an even more aquatic race, the Mon Calamari. Unlike the dolphin-like Kaminoans, the Mon Calamari appear to be more fishy by nature. Spawning on the watery world of Mon Cala, the Mon Calamari are well adapted to living beneath the ocean in the shallower areas of their planet, and also on the few islands that dot its surface. Mon Calamari are able to breathe both underwater and out of water, making them quite adaptable to a variety of different biomes. Unlike human beings, Mon Calamari do not need to decompress after a dive, and they can more or less stay underwater as long as they wanted to. Born with webbed hands and feet, the Mon Calamari could also swim much faster than other humanoid aliens. They could also see in different wavelengths from human beings. Like fish, the Mon Calamari were known for spawning many offspring, and most of them weren't expected to survive. It's theorized this is why most Mon Calamari were less sensitive to death. The Mon Calamari were known for their leadership and tactical brilliance on the battlefield. Their soldiers were also quite formidable when fighting in their elements underwater. The majority of the galaxy's sentient beings are land dwellers, which puts the Mon Calamari at a significant disadvantage. Although they can breathe out of water, their skin can easily crack, and this leads to infections and open wounds if they aren't constantly moisturizing. Mon Calamari starships were famously known for being a bit more on the humid side, with a slight hint of salt and ocean scents coming from the recycled air. While some people might enjoy this scent, most people describe the Mon Calamari smell as a bit too fishy. It's not for everyone. The same advantages that make the Mon Calamari such robust swimmers also make them quite clumsy on dry land. Webbed hands and feet aren't really great for moving things around. Because of the sensitivity of their skin out of water, most Mon Calamari warriors did not fight as infantry soldiers, although some did fight in the rebel infantry during the Galactic Civil War. Most Mon Calamari would, however, serve in the rebel naval forces, where they could be in a more controlled environment. And while Mon Calamari were skilled at swimming underwater, they could only reach depths of around 30 meters. Any deeper, and they would have to rely on special breathing apparatuses. You can't talk about the Mon Calamari's culture without mentioning the fact that they share their planets with another alien species known as the Quarrens. The Mon Calamari are almost like the exact opposites of the Quarrens. While the Mon Calamari built their cities in shallow areas and on the surface, the Quarrens live deep on the ocean floor. Their squid-like bodies are better adapted to such depths and pressure. The Quarrens' main economic production was centered around deep-sea mining and other resource gathering from the bottom of the ocean. This was actually very crucial to the Mon Calamari's own shipbuilding enterprises. The Mon Calamari and the Quarrens didn't always get along. There would be conflict throughout their entire history. But after the Quarren Mon Calamari War of 4500 BBY, the Mon Calamari took 100 young Quarren prisoners and taught them the ways of Mon Calamari culture. These young Quarrens would be reintroduced to Quarren society and help build peace between the two peoples. Eventually, the Mon Calamari would create a unity government with the Quarrens. This was usually led by a Mon Calamari monarch. It takes quite a mature, intelligent society to turn your enemies into your greatest allies. The Mon Calamari were obviously a very open-minded and enlightened society. They equally focused on the sciences as they did with the arts. Mon Calamari Ballet, for instance, was famous across the galaxy, specifically the famous piece known as Squid Lake. The Mon Calamari were also some of the best shipbuilders in the galaxy and were famous for constructing extremely robust hulls onto their ships. This combination of interests made the Mon Calamari essentially the perfect race for deep space exploration. And so even though Mon Cala was located in the Outer Rim, it was still extremely well-connected planet because of the Mon Calamari's exploits. And so while the Kaminoans and the Umbarans really embraced the more isolated locations of their planets, the Mon Cala spread out and made friends everywhere. The Mon Calamari were often known as idealistic and daring individuals who at the same time were tempered and soft-spoken, an interesting and admirable combination of traits that made them quite a heroic species. Their ability to be diplomatic and rational in almost any situation is also why they have survived as long as they have. The idealistic aspect of Mon Calamari society has led to great heroics and also tragedy for their people. After the Empire took over Mon Cala shortly after Order 66, a large fleet of Mon Cala ships escaped the planet, forming the early backbone of the Alliance to restore the Republic's navy. This, of course, made Mon Cala a prime target for Imperial oppression. The Mon Calamari would be enslaved by the Empire just like the Wookiees. Although the Mon Calamari were generally a peaceful society, their shipbuilding skills and talented warriors made them prime targets for recruitment by the rebel faction and later on the resistance. It's for this reason that the Mon Calamari have shed more blood than most species in the fight against Darth Sidious. The Mon Calamari also hated sneezing and found it offensive. Because the Mon Calamari have to build cities underwater, these aliens became masters at engineering strong hull designs that could withstand a massive amount of pressure and punishment. Mon Calamari ships were known as some of the toughest and most durable in the galaxy, and although most of their ships were used for trade and deep space exploration, the Mon Cala cruiser would become the backbone of the Rebel Navy because the Empire controlled every other major shipyard in the galaxy. The Mon Calamari pioneered the use of several small shield generators instead of one large one. Although these small shield generators have less power, they recharge quicker, and they usually had redundant systems and were overlapped with other small shield generators. This layered shielding technology led a Mon Calamari cruiser to exchange broadside turbolaser fire with an Imperial-class Star Destroyer and get out alive. It was the only Rebel ship capable of doing this. Another Mon Calamari invention was the beautiful but very strange B-wing bomber. This was a great example for the Mon Calamari's love for beautiful aesthetic design that looked a little unorthodox, and also their kind of unorthodox engineering techniques as well. The biggest issue with Mon Calamari technology was that it wasn't always the most efficient. Although Mon Calamari technology usually worked very well, there was a heavy focus on aesthetics and beauty. It's for this reason that no two Mon Calamari ships are the same. There are even some rumors that the first Mon Calamari cruisers were originally civic buildings that were converted into starships. Also, like some of the other species we've covered, the Mon Calamari also invested a lot of time and research on technologies that actually already existed in the galaxy. For instance, the Mon Calamari came up with their own variant of the hyperdrive. This was because they had not yet made contact with the rest of the galaxy at the time. Also, Mon Cala's crust held weaker metals than other areas of the galaxy, giving the Mon Calamari a natural disadvantage when it came to the quality of their building materials. So there you have it, guys. That is our coverage of the Mon Calamari. This is a very enlightened and evolved society that puts a lot of emphasis on art and culture, but when it comes down to it, if the galaxy needs the Mon Calamari to fight, they're more than willing to step up and do their part. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification button so you don't miss out on the rest of our awesome content. As usual, thanks for joining us today. If you're watching this, you are Generation Tech.